Sharon Stone shot to fame in 1992 after a single scene in Basic Instinct stunned the globe. But a tempest was building behind the cameras. Director Paul Verhoeven maintains she was aware of the sexual nature of the scene, while Stone says she was misinformed. This conflict of narratives has led to a decades-long discussion concerning Hollywood's cost of celebrity, consent, and manipulation. We explore the reality behind the scene that no one thought was real today. One choice, leaving her little Pennsylvania town to pursue her huge goals in New York, was the beginning of Sharon's acting career. She first appeared in magazines as a model, but modeling wasn't enough for her. Her desire was to perform. She thus waited for the opportunity to appear as an extra in a Woody Allen movie. That short stint in Stardust Memories was only the start. After that, everything proceeded quickly. She was cast in a few TV series, including Magnum, P.I., and T.J. Hooker. Then followed action movies like 1985's King Solomon's Mines, in which she demonstrated that she could take the punches and the adventure. Sharon didn't slow down despite the harsh criticism she received. As she continued, she was cast in other movies, including Above the Law and Police Academy 4. She was determined to draw attention. When she co-starred with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Paul Verhoeven's sci-fi movie Total Recall in 1990, she did garner attention. Her performance drew Verhoeven's attention, especially a scene in which she abruptly changed from nasty to loving before the character's death. This resulted in her major break, landing her a part in Basic Instinct. But Stone had a difficult time getting the famous part of Catherine Trammell in Basic Instinct. She wasn't the 10th or even the first choice. 12 actresses, including major Hollywood stars like Julia Roberts and Michelle Pfeiffer, had really already declined the job due to its graphic nature. What about Sharon? On the list, she came in at number 13. Sharon was not going to let it deter her, though. The audition process took 8.5 arduous months, and she put herself into it. She put up a fierce fight for the position, displaying unwavering resolve. Even her co-star Michael Douglas expressed skepticism about collaborating with a relatively unknown person when she was cast. Sharon, however, was prepared to establish her place. The irony is that her secret weapon was her lack of fame. The movie poster just featured her visage and Michael Douglas' name, not her name. This sense of mystery piqued viewers' interest. Sharon Stone was the center of attention when Basic Instinct came out, but not all of it was positive. One particularly memorable sequence in the movie was at the heart of the enormous controversy it generated. Discussions on the film still touch on that scene 32 years later. We must examine more closely at that particular scene in order to fully see why it created such a commotion. The questioning scene in Basic Instinct is the sequence that everyone discusses. Here, Catherine Trammell, played by Sharon Stone, is seated in front of a group of male police officers. She is totally in control, composed, and self-assured. When she uncrosses her legs, the audience notices that she has nothing on underneath her skirt. Although the moment is brief, the camera angle makes it incredibly revealing. The sequence created a lot of controversy because of its audacity and unexpectedness in addition to what was depicted. But once the movie was out, the drama continued. Sharon Stone has spoken out more about her emotions about the notorious event throughout the years. The uproar was fueled by the behind-the-scenes story she disclosed in her 2021 book, The Beauty of Living Twice. She was told that nothing graphic would be captured on camera, but Stone stated that she was instructed to take down her panties because they were reflecting light. As it happened, such assurance was far from accurate. She viewed the finished scene for the first time in a room full with attorneys and agents. In her words, it no longer mattered. Up there, it was just my parts and myself. After walking to the projection booth and giving director Paul Verhoeven a slap, she exited feeling misled and shocked. She was prepared to act and called her lawyer right away. Sharon has also publicly pondered on the situation. When she accepted the Woman of the Year award at the 2019 GQ Men of the Year Awards, she candidly discussed what she referred to as the moment that would change my life. She was also the subject of intensive investigation after that scene. She's had to deal with it ever since. The notorious moment in Sharon Stone's allegations are viewed much differently by director Paul Verhoeven. In an interview with Variety, he insisted that she was well aware of what they were photographing and referred to her account of events as implausible. A major inspiration for Verhoeven, the sequence was based on a real-life woman he met while he was a student who purposefully made a similar motion at gatherings. He asserted that Sharon consented to reenact the concept after realizing its provocativeness and importance to Catherine Trammell's persona. Joe Esterhus, the author of Basic Instinct, has disassociated himself from the film's most contentious scene. Esterhus maintains that the notorious interrogation scene was not his idea, even though his script contained a lot of nudity. Speaking at the 2013 London Screenwriters Festival, he acknowledged that the sequence might have been detrimental to Sharon Stone, overpowering her subtle performance with its shock effect. In an interview conducted during the festival, Esterhus elaborated on the scene's beginnings. The provocative leg crossing sequence was not part of his original script, he disclosed. It's evident that Catherine Trammell isn't wearing underwear in the scene in the screenplay where Michael Douglas' character watches her change. The interrogation sequence, however, was a reimagining of that idea by filmmaker Paul Verhoeven. In a comical description, Esterhus referred to Verhoeven's method as the work of a mad genius Dutchman. The author claims that while Verhoeven was talking about the specifics of how the scene should look on camera, he pushed for the stunning moment and even made fun, irreverent references to it. The camera focuses on Wayne Knight's astonished expression, which made him an iconic aspect of Basic Instinct. Knight played a significant part in the notorious interrogation scene. Knight gave a response that became as famous as the actual moment after Catherine Trammell uncrossed her legs. Beyond what viewers seen on film, there is much more to the debate regarding Basic Instinct. Behind the scenes, the true problems are found, especially in the treatment of Sharon Stone and other female actors. While many stories have been told over the years, Stone's 2021 book, The Beauty of Living Twice, provides a more in-depth and intimate look at the abuse and injustices she endured. She details the coercion and manipulation she experienced in her biography, especially in relation to the notorious interrogation scene. She disclosed that she felt little control over the process and that she had been misled about what would be captured on video. However, Sharon Stone has revealed more disturbing stories. She just shared another startling story from her Hollywood career. Sliver was under pressure from producer Robert Evans, a significant player in the business, to have sex with her co-star Billy Baldwin during the 1993 Thriller's production. Evans asserted, according to Stone, that this would enhance Baldwin's performance in the movie. Although Stone declined, the event had an enduring impact. In a field where respect was frequently sacrificed for power, this is just another instance of the kind of behavior she encountered. Disregarding an actor's comfort and agency, being urged to breach personal boundaries for a performance demonstrates the extent to which some in Hollywood were prepared to go. In 2019, the well-known and renowned producer Robert Evans passed away. However, by telling this experience, he continues to raise awareness of the unjust and frequently damaging expectations that are placed on women in the film business, thereby painting a negative picture of his influence. Sharon Stone became well-known in 1992 thanks to Basic Instinct, and 3 years later, in 1995, she played a pivotal role in Martin Scorsese's mob epic Casino. Sharon gave a powerful performance as Ginger McKenna, the cunning and drug-addled wife of Ace Rothstein, played by Robert De Niro, solidifying her status as one of Hollywood's most versatile actors. The film received considerable praise for Sharon's performance and was a critical and financial triumph, grossing over $100 million at the box office. She was nominated for her first and only Academy Award for Best Actress for the performance, and she won a Golden Globe. For Sharon, Casino was more than simply a movie. Her career's high point was that it was a dream come true to collaborate with stars like De Niro and Scorsese. It was difficult to keep up with the two's unrelenting work ethic and high standards, as Sharon described in interviews, likening the experience to attending the Olympics. Will I be sufficient? Am I able to stay up? She remembered that question. She stretched herself, resolved to demonstrate that she was one of the greats. My dream when I first started acting was to sit opposite De Niro and hold my own, she stated. And she did just that with Casino. The portrayal of Ginger McKenna by Sharon was revolutionary. Ginger was more than simply a trophy wife, she was a very nuanced person. A poisonous combination of addiction, treachery, and greed drove her to spiral into anarchy. Heightened the film's intensity levels. In one of the most emotional scenes, Sharon and De Niro got into a furious dispute, displaying unadulterated emotion and winning the respect of her colleagues. She stated in a 1996 interview that it's quite satisfying. I demonstrated my ability to succeed when I faced my ideal people. Casino was, to Sharon, the culmination of all her professional ambitions. Although her fame may have come from her instinct, Casino, the film's pinnacle, showcased her range as an actress. Following Casino's popularity, Sharon Stone took on a number of difficult parts in the late 1990s. She portrayed a death row convict in Last Dance, a manipulative mistress in Diabolique, and a biologist in Sphere. Though there were some positive aspects as well, these movies sadly failed to connect with reviewers or viewers. In addition to her successful voice acting in the animated movie Ants in 1998, Sharon received a Golden Globe nod for her poignant performance in The Mighty. The situation became more worse in 1999 when Gloria and the Muse encountered conflicting responses. The Muse didn't have a significant impact, despite Sharon's performance receiving accolades. Her work was also clouded by the Golden Globe campaign controversy at this time. Sharon's life drastically changed in 2001 after she experienced a potentially fatal brain bleed. After being forced to take a hiatus from acting, she concentrated on getting better and subsequently said that she felt as though she had lost her place in Hollywood. In 2003, she returned with a terrific performance in an Emmy-winning guest role on The Practice. However, her attempts to bring her career back to life in movies with Cold Creek Manor and Catwoman failed, and Catwoman went on to become one of the worst films ever made. Despite these obstacles, Sharon persevered, demonstrating that she wasn't finished yet. Following her prior triumphs, Sharon Stone's acting career from 2005 to 2017 was a patchwork of wins and flops. She starred with Bill Murray in the 2005 film Broken Flowers as a light-hearted, eccentric character. Sharon's performance served as a reminder to everyone of her intelligence and entertainment value, and the movie went well. However, things didn't go as expected when she returned in Basic Instinct 2 as Catherine Trammell that same year. The movie failed at the box office, was postponed for years, and failed to please critics. However, Sharon continued. She received plaudits for her portrayal of a heartbroken mother in the 2006 film Alpha Dog. She also appeared in the ensemble cast of Bobby, a film that chronicles the last few hours leading up to the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. Sharon demonstrated that she was still capable of competing in important projects with her performance, which won her and the cast an award for Outstanding Ensemble. Over time, Sharon took on other independent, lesser projects. Some did not have much of an influence, but others, like Lovelace, 2013, received positive reviews. Her 2013 film Fading Gigolo was one of her most notable performances, showcasing her comedy and charm in a light-hearted character that was well received by critics. She also starred in James Franco's critically acclaimed 2017 film The Disaster Artist, and brought Sharon's appearance in iconic movies back to viewers' memories. Sharon didn't only participate in films during this time, she also made TV appearances. She played a harsh prosecutor in the Law and Order Special Victims Unit, receiving recognition for her work. In the brief TNT series Agent X, 2015, she even played the part of America's first female vice president. Like her career, Sharon Stone's love life has been turbulent and erratic, with whirlwind romances, unexpected engagements, and a penchant for the spectacular. On the set of The Vegas Strip War in 1984, she met TV producer Michael Greenberg, sparking her first significant affair. That same year, the couple were married after sparks flared. Even in 1986, Greenberg served as her line producer on Alan Quatermain and The Lost City of Gold, but the couple's marriage ended. They split up by 1989, and their divorce was formalized in 1990. Although it wasn't her last Hollywood romance, it was Sharon's first. Sharon had a relationship with comic Gary Shandling in the early 1990s, who, under instructor Roy London, was also one of her acting classmates. Despite their brief relationship, their friendship lasted. Even made an appearance on his program, The Larry Sanders Show, in a funny episode called The Mr. Sharon Stone Show. A tribute to their relationship is the fact that the two stayed close until Gary's passing in 2016. Sharon first encountered producer William J. McDonald on the set of Sliver in 1993. They made a startling and instantaneous connection. McDonald was engaged to Sharon after divorcing his wife. A year later, however, the engagement ended, and Sharon's fiery independence was evident. Always the drama queen, she sent the engagement ring back by FedEx. For Sharon, romance was far from over. She fell in love with Bob Wagner, the first assistant director of The Quick and the Dead, when she was working on the movie in 1994. Similar to her last relationship, they became engaged but were unable to get married. Sharon had a way of attracting fleeting romances that ended as soon as they began. On Valentine's Day of 1998, Sharon Stone married Phil Bronstein, starting her most well-known union, an esteemed editor and reporter. The pair appeared to be a wonderful fit. Gritty journalism meets Hollywood glitz. But below it all, Sharon had to deal with devastating difficulties. Due to endometriosis and an autoimmune illness, she experienced numerous miscarriages, which prevented her from becoming a mother. A much-needed light entered Sharon and Phil's lives in 2000 when they adopted a baby boy named Rowan Joseph Bronstein. Sharon balanced her hectic job and her new duty as a mother, embracing motherhood passionately. But there started to be rifts in their marriage. Phil also filed for divorce in 2003, claiming that they couldn't agree. Their separation was difficult. However, the worst setback occurred when a judge decided that Sharon would have visitation rights and Roan would live mainly with Phil. Even though it was a very trying time in her life, Sharon managed to bounce back. But Sharon was committed to assuming a more expansive role as a mother. Laird Vaughan, her second son, was adopted in 2005, and Quinn Kelly Stone, her third son, was born the following year. Inside her family. In West Hollywood, California, Sharon created a loving home with her 3 boys in a mansion that was originally owned by the renowned actor Montgomery Clift. Raising her sons gave her happiness and meaning despite the highs and lows of her personal life. As a single mother, Sharon had completely embraced her life by 2018, concentrating on providing a loving and encouraging environment for her family. Despite the fact that her marriages may not have lasted, her biography revolved around her road to motherhood. In January 2005, Sharon Stone's desire to change the world was highlighted at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. She found it moving when Tanzanian President Benjamin Mkapa spoke about the terrible effects of malaria in his nation at a panel discussion on poverty in Africa. In an audacious and moving moment, Sharon called for a $1 million pledge for mosquito nets to fight malaria in Tanzania, transforming the discussion into an unplanned fundraising. Both her hurry and her charm worked. In a matter of minutes, she obtained the promises. However, what began as a heartwarming gesture of support swiftly descended into scandal. UNICEF was among those that criticized Sharon for her rash and ill-prepared actions. In reality, just $250,000 of the $1 million pledged was raised. In order to fulfill the agreement, UNICEF had to reroute funds from other initiatives to cover the $750,000 gap. Although the nets were meant to help prevent malaria in Tanzanians, it appears that many were never given out as planned. Some of the nets, on the other hand, mysteriously resurfaced on the black market after disappearing from nearby airports and allegedly being used to make wedding gowns. Another occasion was when Sharon Stone was at the heart of a significant dispute at the Cannes Film Festival in 2008. And she probably didn't expect the storm that her words caused this time. On the red carpet, she was asked about the horrific Sichuan earthquake that killed thousands of people in China while chatting with Hong Kong's cable entertainment news. She gave a direct and startling answer. Regarding her friendship with the Dalai Lama and China's handling of Tibet, Stone voiced her worries. Then, asserting that awful things happen to you when you're not pleasant, she connected the earthquake to karma. Particularly in China, where the remarks were viewed as extremely offensive at a period of national grief, the suggestion that the earthquake was some kind of cosmic vengeance infuriated many. The retaliation was severe and quick. A major theater chain in China, UME Cineplex, declared that it will no longer show any of Sharon Stone's films. The creator of the franchise and a well-known personality in the Hong Kong film business, Ong Zi-yuan, deemed her comments unsuitable. Stone was removed from the 2008 Shanghai International Film Festival as a guest, and Dior advertisements featuring her were banned throughout China. The festival's administrators even considered permanently banning her. In an interview with the New York Times, Stone denied ever approving the apology that Dior China first made in her name. "I won't apologize," she said daringly. But the story didn't end there. Shortly after the interview, Sharon Stone released her own statement titled "In My Own Words," in which she confessed that she sounded foolish and said, "I'm certainly not going to apologize for something that isn't real and true, not for face creams." Her tone changed, writing, "I could not be more regretful of that mistake. It was an accident. Sorry. It was never the intention of such words to cause harm to anyone." This more sincere apology, which followed a great deal of criticism, appeared to demonstrate sincere regret. Sharon Stone left the glamour of Hollywood in March 2006 to enter the world of international diplomacy. She traveled to Israel to attend a news conference with Nobel Peace Prize laureate Shimon Peres that intended to further Middle East peace. She demonstrated her dedication to using her position for good in that particular instance. She acknowledged Peres as her mentor years later, in 2013, demonstrating his enduring impact on her life and her love of humanitarian work. Her efforts to support individuals living with HIV/AIDS earned her the Peace Summit Award that same year, recognizing her commitment to changing the world. Her reputation as more than simply a celebrity but a real force for change was further cemented by this acknowledgement of her unwavering activism. Sharon's humanitarian zeal was once again highlighted in 2015 when she received the Pelogio Building Peace Award in Milan. However, she didn't simply take the honor in silence, instead, she made it a moment of action. In front of a group of CEOs and dignitaries, she initiated an unplanned auction while on stage. She was able to get enough commitments to finance the building of 28 schools in Africa because of her contagious enthusiasm and charm. It demonstrated once more how Sharon could transform her celebrity into actual, palpable change. Sharon Stone has always demonstrated that her impact goes well beyond the screen, from advancing Middle Eastern peace to enhancing African education. Her efforts serve as a constant reminder to the world that meaningful change may start even in the most unexpected circumstances and that compassion and action can coexist.